Hi, it's Audrey June, and today I'm going to do a medicine wheel spread. So I've been thinking a lot just about how can we stand up against these systems, right? So as the spiritual pathfinders, as the guides, as the light workers, what is it that we need to do in order to move forward, right? So I'm going to start with the north, which is the mental. Right. So what mindset do we need to have in order to stand up against the system that is trying so desperately to keep us under control? Right? If you think about the way that the masks are working and just the way that this whole coronavirus has transformed the world, and people haven't really known what to do about it, right? Meaning, like, do we follow that what's being put out there? Do we stand up against it? It's really polarized the country in a lot of ways. So what mindset do we need in order to shift the timeline? Mental. All right. So here we have the Ace of Cups, right? So this is interesting because, as you can see, we have Aphrodite here, right? And the one cup's before her, right? Aces in the deck always symbolize a new beginning, right? And the cups are emotions, right? And so in this particular deck, it is the Greek deck. And we can see that Aphrodite is offering Psyche the cup, right? A new chance, a new insight, a brand new day when it comes to the emotions. So for that to be at the north, which is our mental, the way I see that is that we need to start speaking from the heart. Instead of letting our mind drive us forward, instead of letting our mind bring us into this anxiety, you know, of the propaganda and also just of the real health threats, we need to really be looking and speaking and guided from the heart. So what is it in our heart that we know the correct thing is, right? So we've got Aphrodite here with the Ace of Cups. Now, oops. Now we're going to look at the West, which is, actually we're going to look at the West, which is our emotions, right? So where are we right now? What guidance do we have about our emotions when it comes to this moment in time? So where are our emotions at? All right. So we got the Hierophant, right? So the Hierophant here, we see the Centaur. We see him with a scroll in hand and the symbol. He's in a cave. Centaurs are interesting creature. Like, I'm a Sagittarius, so the centaur kind of exists between worlds, right? They are the crossroads in a lot of ways. They're able to bridge the spiritual world with the mundane world. So with the Hierophant is major arcana. And we've gotten this before in one of our other spreads. But the Hierophant is basically you owning your own spiritual knowledge, right? So for this to be in the West with our emotions, it's a reminder that we need to feel what we believe, right? So when we feel it, we can more strongly manifest it. So it's like we're taking review, we're taking control, we're kind of going through in this reflective time, we're really integrating and synthesizing all of our spiritual ideas together, right? It's like, what do we really believe? That is the question the Hierophant asks you. What do you really believe, and what are you willing to stand up for, right? So how do you feel that in your body? How do you feel what you believe and act from the heart, right? So we have the Ace of Cups in the mind, right? In that mental space, it's like, let the heart lead the mental. Stop analyzing in a way that isn't natural to who you are. And then we have the spiritual in the West, in the emotions. So it's like deepening our emotions within ourselves and truly understanding what it is that we believe in and creating a system, creating habits, creating discipline, right? Because we're just in the end of the shadow of the eclipse in Capricorn, right? I was just talking about this yesterday. And so it's a matter of consolidating what it is you believe and remembering that the spirit is always in you, right? The spirit needs to guide the emotions, not to get stuck in the petty 3D emotions of, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that. Like we talk about victimhood all the time. The Hierophant, the shaman, takes control of their own destiny, right? Their own emotions, and makes it so that there is a hierarchy within self. What is it that I feel is the most important thing? And to be driven and to be guided by that, right? So now we're going to look at the South, which is the physical world, right? So the 3D, how do we really, like, what is it that our body is telling us? And what is it that we need to act on in this world, right? So let's think about this. Okay, we have 2 cards here. All right, so we have the Star, Pandora's box, right? Never give up hope. Yes, all of those things are coming out, right? You know the story of Pandora. She lets everything out of the box, right? All of the horrors, the tragedies, this pestilence, all of that stuff comes out the box, right? But you look at this card, what do you see coming out at the end? We have the light, we have the hope, right? So we have to act in our light. We never, ever can forget the hope. We have to continue to maintain our optimistic spirit in this world in order for you to be able to act according to your beliefs, right? In order for you to act according to what you really believe and maintain control of your emotions, in this physical world, we need to maintain our hope. And then we have, this is beautiful, we have the Magician, right? So the Magician is, number 1, it's manifestation. It's direct action according to spirit. It is the divine masculine. So remember, we are at a record time of manifestation. Everything is amplified with this energy that's going on, right? So to see this in the physical, these are 2 very spiritual cards, right? And they're both major arcana. We are at a turning point. So remember that you have to maintain hope. You have to have the hope in the spiritual world, in this physical world, in order for you to manifest, in order for us to collectively manifest the path that we want, in order to take back, reclaim our world, this power, this life. This physical reality is stuck in duality that is not correct, right? So we need to put these 2 things together. Always at the forefront, we have to keep that hope, that optimism, because if we are in a place of negativity, that is what we will manifest. I love that. That's beautiful. And oh, yeah. And see, also, I don't know if you noticed this, but here we have all of the symbol. This is ceremonial magic right here, right? So you don't have to be complete, like you can manifest without that, but maybe like looking what tools to use in this physical reality in order to manifest what we want, not what they want, which is control. All right, so the next one is the spirit, right? East is spirit. So what is our spiritual insight? Where should our spirit be in order for us to gain the appropriate timeline, in order for us to counteract this control, this negativity, this oppression? Where does our spirit, what does our spirit need to remember about ourselves, right? Ooh, damn. You doing these 2 cards. All right. This is interesting. So Spirit is telling us, we have the 2 of Cups, right? So this is the story of Psyche. It has to do with emotions. This is the moment where Eros saves her, right? And she doesn't see him, right? So she's going blind, but 2 is about, we know 2 is partnership. 2 is the high priestess, and it's about having trust, right? So this card is saying we need to surrender. We need to be able to trust without seeing. We need to know that it's happening, that it's right, that we're going to be okay, right? And we can't go against what Spirit is telling us to do. That is so important. If Spirit is really like actively acting in your life and giving you messages, like if your debit card doesn't work, or if, just little things like that, we need to stop acting according to our own will and have trust in the divine, which is guiding us on this path. This is a very magical time right now. This is a moment where Spirit is taking control, and we need to step in and to surrender to Spirit, right? And then we have the Page of Swords, right? Swords are mental. Page is like almost like the baby, right? It's like the Page of Swords is just the inkling of a new mindset, right? So Spirit is reminding us that those of us who have been here, right, we've been awakening, and like we're walking more and more into our power and our intuitive, like it's like, I don't know about y'all, but I really feel like I powered up, right? Like I am stronger, I am more in my power. This, I think, Spirit is telling us that that's happening across the board, right? With the coronavirus, people who never had the time are starting to think about Spirit. So Spirit is working its magic even to people who have mostly been living in this 3D world. So we have to surrender to Spirit and to surrender to our intuition and to not be afraid to be ourselves in these spaces that we weren't necessarily ourselves in before, right? So like if Spirit is guiding you to speak on something, no matter who it is that you're speaking to, you need to speak up, right? One of my friends, she was telling me yesterday that somebody that she thought would never, ever come into that understanding, that spiritual light, like her mother, right? That's been happening for her mother, right? She opened the door for that, her and her child did. So it's like, to me, it's just a reminder that these people that you don't necessarily think are waking up are, right? It's a nascent beginning. So don't lose hope, right? So that's what Spirit is reminding us. And now, like, we have the overall message, like what is the insight, the integration of all of these things as far as how we should act in order to stand up for what it is that we believe in. So what do we think? Oh my God, there we go again with these 2 cards. Oh my God, okay, so 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords is, we can see Orestes here and we can see Apollo. Apollo is giving him the swords, the different challenges. This is a moment of trials and tribulations, doubt, Fives within the whole thing, it's all about conflict, right? So this is conflict within the mind. Like, is Orestes going to stand up for divine justice? Is he going to make the choice and to avenge his father's death? Or is he just going to sit there and cry like a little baby, right? So that is what it's saying in our mind. It's like we have to get past that doubt. We have to stop floundering. We have to fucking find our truth. Sorry for the cursing, but like seriously, that is what's happening here, right? And then we have the Wheel of Fortune, right? The Wheel of Fortune is the end of a cycle. This is a major arcana card. This is divine destiny, right? We see the fates, the furies. They're there with the wheel. They are determining fate. Fate and destiny are different, right? Fate is something that is meant to be. Destiny is something that we ourselves follow, right? So we are at a fated time where we have to determine. We have to stand up. We have to do what we know is right. We need to follow spirit, right? So in all, I'm going to do it real quick. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is balance, right? That's interesting. So final thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to pull from my Earth Warriors Oracle. So overall, what is it that Spirit wants to leave with us? What is the overall reminder? What do we need to remember ourselves? So, how do we maintain that star energy, that hope? Whoa, okay. Came out. So, this one came out on top. This is the one, I think. So we see abuela medicine, right? Remedy of the grandmothers. I don't know if you guys know, but there was a council of grandmothers from around the world, indigenous women, and they came together to talk and to heal. And I'll leave a link to the book on this page. But 2 + 3 is 5. Once again, confirmation for the Hierophants. Remedy of the grandmothers. So when I look at this card, right, take a moment. What is she making you feel? What do you immediately notice? For me, this is the ancestors, right? This is the old ways. This is the wise ones, right? The ones that have been walking this earth for forever. A lot of the new children coming up today, they are the wise ones, right? And a lot of us who are light workers, we've been here for a very, very long time, right? So I see Gaia, I see the earth, right? I see green. Green is the heart chakra, opening the heart. I see plants. I see above, we have the third eye, right? So we have the skull with the third eye. That's intuition. So those are the things that I immediately notice about this card, which is the Remedy of the Grandmothers. So let's see what our book has to say. Remedy of the Grandmothers. Believe in the formidable power of healing, of the transformation that it can provide for all aspects of your being and your life. Medicine comes in many forms from Great Spirit to facilitate healing of body, of mind, and of soul. Whether it is the correction of unhelpful habits of thought, guidance for the practical steps to resolve a physical imbalance, or deep soul healing that frees you into fulfillment of your divine potential, there is no limit to what we can be healed through grace. A current of divine healing is flowing to you and through you now. Open yourself up to participate in a beautiful healing transformation, right? So to me, it's like going back to the old ways, looking to the earth, looking into the medicine, looking into balance, into holistic, instead of just remedying instead of just covering up the problem, we're going into that deep soul healing time. The shamans used to go into the dream world to claim back something that person was missing, which was manifesting in the physical. It's always a spiritual problem. All ailments are spiritual problems, right? You are on a healing journey. Put your trust in the divine genius of Great Spirit and the medicine of the earth through which divine healing can express itself. As you allow your spiritual connection to guide you, your earthly steps with synchronicity and divine intervention, you will be supported for a healing journey that will be profound for you, right? So this is the collective. Like this coronavirus, this oppression, this standing up against these things is a spiritual battle, right? We're in spiritual warfare right now. Your soul has healing gifts, and you're meant to participate fully in an exploration of healing that is of interest. You're meant to understand how it is you're a healer in your own unique way. This is part of the life journey, right? So integration, expansion. Have you been the warrior carrying on regardless of a deep wound that makes your life and work in the world more difficult? Whether the wound is of mind or body, there is guidance that it is time to allow for healing. We need to choose healing. Stop running. Through a healing journey, you can become free to proceed more easily, effectively, and joyfully in your life's work. Grandmother medicine typically relates to the use... I got another one of these Antos. Grandmother medicine relates to the use of plants through various disciplines to promote healing of the mind and body. However, the oracle speaks of a broader interpretation. It indicates a time when earthly steps on your healing journey will be supported and guided by spirit for truly inspiring results. Heaven and earth are intersecting, and when that happens, the practice of various types of physical world medicine can become a channel for divine blessing. This divine integration of heaven and earth will transform the way you see and experience the physical world. It will provide you with a feeling of harmony between the celestial and the earthly, a sense of masculine and feminine energies working together for the same purpose, integration. You will no longer feel divided within yourself. You're overcoming duality. It's not natural, right? Oh God, the ants are coming. Okay. All right. So, right. This is healing, all things coming together in right order, working with rather than against each other for loving higher purpose. The commencement of the healing journey, whether you are the healer or the patient, demands a period of purification, a cleansing that will support the release of toxins of body, mind, and soul, so that true vitality, well-being, and divine beauty can manifest unimpeded. The basis of all true healing is a shift in consciousness so powerful that it alters not only body, mind, but eventually soul and physiology as well. If one attempts to shift consciousness, right? If one attempts to shift consciousness without adequate preparation, the process can be destabilizing, generating unnecessary disorder and confusion. Even if there is a temporary sense of heightened awareness at first, without adequate preparation, the experience will not be able to be integrated. It may result in feeling worse than better without a real long-term change, right? So that immediately to me like brings up like shaman journeys like ayahuasca, peyote, like mushrooms. If you don't go into that stuff without an intention, your mind is just going to be like, it can be very destabilizing, right? So you have to prepare yourself ahead of time. You have to take that time of reflection and of contemplation to get to the right place, right? Becoming ready for the medicine means preparing for the cure also. This is based on approaching the power of earth with due respect. It is not about trying to force an outcome that you wish. It's about cleansing and opening the self to the gift of what is given from Mother Earth and Great Spirit. It is not about controlling the healing flow, but of readying oneself for it to be received, right? So we need to stop trying to control things. Allow things to unfold. That means surrendering attachment and resting, cleansing the body and mind through practices that work for you so that you are open for the change that healing will bring. Practicing unconditional trust, surrender, because divine timing may sometimes express kindness through delays. Oh my God, I feel that. That resonates. It means gently but surely dislodging your belief in the fixed reality of your own experience. We are going from singularity to unity consciousness right now. We are everybody. Everybody is us. We're all mirrors. Even if an issue has been present for decades, so that the healing genius of heaven and earth, an intelligent, creative relationship expressing their unconditional love for you, can heal, right? So imagine, feel, or intend that you are relaxing not only your body and mind, but your soul. Allow yourself to feel held by this loving, sacred energy. This is the soul of the Earth Mother. When you're ready, I want you guys to do this if you feel drawn to. When you are ready, say the following invocation aloud. Repeat after me. All right. The divine healing presence is now created through the loving union of Earth Mother and Great Spirit. I surrender into the medicinal alchemy of divine love at work within all facets of my being now, so that any and all issues of my mind, body, and soul that can benefit from divine healing are now blessed for recovery. Through grace of divine timing and compassion of Grandmother Healer, I ask to be shown clear steps for my healing benefit, that I may experience true healing and become a channel for such true healing in the world. So be it. So, remember the grandmother's medicine. Remember that we are all about integration. Remember that it is our chance and our purpose to stand up. But in order for us to be able to fight the good fight, we need to be able to heal and integrate ourselves, and to stop with the divine with interference. We need to stop interfering with the divine healing. All right, I love you. Have a good day.